Okay guys, I am back, and you see here before you the 12 pieces of the Knife of the Month collection from BattlBox 2018. So a while ago, and I apologize for my voice still being a little bit scratchy, still getting over this little bit of a flu thing. A while ago I did a year of the Knife of the Month from BattlBox after I got my first 12 battle boxes. That was not a direct year. It started in the middle of the year, started in March, I think, or April, and carried on to the next March or April. And I just presented, a year of Knife of the Month, 12 Knives of the Month. It was a big hit. People wanted me to do it again. I waited a little bit, though, because I wanted to do a whole calendar year from January to December. So here we have it, January to December 2018. We're going to go over every single Knife of the Month offering. I'm going to talk about, the box it came in, the theme that it goes to, my thoughts on it, the specs for each knife. This may end up being a 2-video series, depending on how long it gets. We're going to break it all down and look at everything from Knife of the Month. You'll notice some of the knives in the month are not knives. We've got a multi-tool, we've got an axe, we've got a little thingy thing over there, but we'll break it down. We'll go month by month, get into the details, and look at each one as we go. Starting off in January, we had Mission 35, the Jungle Survival Box, and that brought us the Ontario ASEC, the Air Crew Survival and Evasion Knife. Now, this is the kind of successor to the Ontario 499 Army Air Force Survival Knife. It's got some similar family features, but it is improved in a lot of ways. Unfortunately, what we learned is that BattlBox's offering of the ASEC, the knife, is the same. There are some corners cut in terms of what someone would get if they were to go and buy the actual Ontario ASEC outright. Now, I guess they did that to keep costs down a little bit. But we'll take a little look at how the Knife of the Month ASEC, as it comes here, is different if you were to buy it. So the MSRP that they list is a little bit suspect in terms of comparing it to the ASEC itself. So let's take a look at the knife. This is the January Knife of the Month ASEC as it comes from BattlBox. However, this is not the ASEC as you would buy it from anybody else. This sheath is an old sheath. This is how the Ontario 499 Army Air Force Survival Knife comes. This sheath has been issued for decades and decades. Just to give you an example of what the real sheath looks like, here's some screenshots, 1 or 2 or 3, of what the actual ASEC sheath looks like. The actual ASEC knife also comes with a cord cutter, a line cutter, for helping trapped air crew escape from harnesses or parachutes or anything like that. Here's a picture of that as well. So when BattlBox gives us an MSRP of $95 for the ASEC, it's kind of hard to gauge because no one sells this. This does not come from anywhere. You are buying, when you buy the ASEC, the knife, the cord cutter, the MOLLE sheath with all of its fancy riggings, and that attachment point for that line cutter. So I don't know how they put this together. I don't know if they got a special deal to get some surplus old sheaths and just the knives. I don't know where this came from. But this is not how it comes from any other store whatsoever. So when they tell us that on the card it's got an MSRP of $95, it's almost impossible to price match anywhere else because you can't find this setup anywhere else. It just doesn't come like that. So now that that's kind of, that shenanigan number or whatever, that's out of the way. And that was a comment that a lot of people had. They actually said this was a fake knife because it came like that. So the knife's not fake. I did research on the knife. It is a legit knife. They just got some kind of weird deal or did something to save money. I don't know how they worked this out. But if you look at all the details of the knife is legit. So the knife itself is designed for aircrew with the primary purpose of, first and foremost, helping them escape from a downed aircraft, and then being their survival tool once they are on the ground somewhere. This is I guess I have to compare a 499. So there is a leather stacked ring handle on this thing that I have P-cord wrapped over the top of. This is a relatively new one. I think I just said that, in fact. I've gone through several of these in my military career. So you can see, starting off with, for electrical installation, this thing is certified, electrical safe, so that you can stab through, cut through wires and stuff. This one was not. This one also has a glass or plexiglass Lexan breaking pommel, so that if the aircrew needs to pop their way through a windscreen or something, they can do that. The blade shape has been slightly redesigned to help punch through aircraft aluminum or fuselage panels, composites, and help cut their way through those kinds of things to free themselves from aircraft. Once they're on the ground, though, this doubles as a good, sturdy, made of 1095 carbon steel aircrew survival knife that they can do all of their survival knife chores with, just like they could the standard old Ontario 499. It's a very comfortable handle. The blade is 5 inches, and then you've got 10 1/4 inches overall, so good size. It's 18.7 ounces, but I swear it doesn't feel that heavy at all. Not at all. The thing is, regardless of, any kind of prices or MSRP that they give you on BattlBox, you can't really compare this to the price of anything else. Now, the ASEG itself is sold for $127.93 on Amazon Prime, but it comes with the full, like I said, the full MOLLE sheath, nylon tactical sheath, with the line cutter and everything else. And without coming with all the other stuff, it's kind of only part of the system it was supposed to come with. So, now what is its connection to the Jungle box? I have no idea. I don't know why they chose it for a Jungle survival box or how it got into that box. It just is what it is. So I feel like it's, the knife itself, if you're just looking at the knife, it's a decent knife that has some use in it, but in terms of not coming with all of the associated gear it's supposed to, and I get it. They saved themselves some serious money by doing this, but then again, look at the January knife of the month that we just did, that little teeny tiny thing that they say has an MSRP of $120. Why not just give us the whole thing that you can get for $127? I don't understand this at all. But that is January's knife of the month. February Mission 36 was the active shooter box. I know that box caused a little bit of controversy just by being called the active shooter box. But we're not even going to touch that. We're just going to talk about the knife. So that was the Fox FX213. This little rescue knife here. Interesting knife. It was another knife that it didn't really go with the theme, except for the fact that we had a lot of first aid supplies, and this is a rescue knife. So I like Fox knives. They make some good stuff. This has a lot of interesting features. So let's get a close-up and look at all the features of this knife. I was kind of excited when I saw this February. There are a couple Fox knives I've wanted to try out for a while, and I just never pulled the trigger on. I had mistaken this initially for one that BattlBox had put in a previous box. It was not it, before I had joined BattlBox. So to start off with, you've got a couple carry options. So this rigid sheath, more like a mounting, is pretty cool. So you've got a very stable locking system right here. So this could go on a belt, and I mean, it'll hold pretty firm. Now you put it through PALS webbing because it's exactly that size, and mount it there. So mount it on some gear. But if you did have a very thin belt, it does give a little bit. So you could put it on a belt as well. You can dismount the screws. I have heard some people say they would use it as a neck knife. That would be an awfully awkward neck knife, if you ask me. or you could just find some other way to mount it. But short of this little mounting bracket thing, you could just take it off, and it has a very secure clip. Deep carry clip, put it in a pocket, put it on a belt as well. You could also clip it on to anything else with this little ring right there. So lots of different options. I demonstrated in the video that these glow in the dark. They don't glow in the dark very well, but these little rubber areas not only give you good traction, but they glow in the dark. The knife itself, plastic scales, good texturing though to give you a nice grip, and then jimping all throughout. You've got some multi-tool type functionality there. You've got a flathead screwdriver, you've got a Phillips head screwdriver, you have a glass breaker, which would also work in a pinch. Less lethal option just to get somebody to stay away from you right there if you needed to. This will not work as a very good flipper, so don't mistake it as such, but excellent deployment with the thumb studs. A little bit sticky on the liner lock, just a little bit, but great centering and everything. And not a huge blade because it is meant to be a rescue knife, not like a tactical utility knife. Yes, there is a bottle opener on the blade. N690 steel though, excellent corrosion resistance. So 2.95 inch N690 blade, 7.87 inches overall, 7.2 ounces, so not very heavy. They give an MSRP of $150.25. I was able to find it for $105.73 on Lamnia.com. Put that in text. So buying options, you can also find it for a little bit more in some other areas, but it feels pretty nice. You're able to get a really nice grip on it, and in a rescue capacity, because of the shape of that swedge right there, you are able to get it under some stuff before it starts to grab at the tip there if you need to cut somebody out of clothing. But lots of great mounting options. Really interesting knife of the month. I can understand why this would go with the rescue theme. Obviously, it can function as a rescue knife. March Mission 37 Base Camp brought us our first non-knife knife of the month. It also brought us our first introduction into what seemed like a never-ending cycle of there's something wrong with the knife of the month shenanigans from BattlBox. So this year, for some reason, they had a lot of trouble keeping up with the sourcing and demand for the knife of the month. We got a little yellow slip of paper in the box that said, hey, we've got a really cool knife of the month, you just can't have it yet. So the knife of the month was the Klecker Klax Lumberjack, which was an axe. We got it late. It was delayed. To their credit, though, they did send it express mail once they got them all in stock. So, they've done this thing sometimes where they said, look, some of you are going to get it now, some of you are going to get it later. I think they actually did that with this one. I can't remember exactly. Some people got it right on time. Some people got it later. They fixed that later on because there were some pissed off people. Where if it was delayed, everybody just got it later. But with the Klecker Klax, at least they did take a step, because the Klecker Klax, as it comes, is just this axe head, and there are instructions on how to make a handle for it, or you can purchase this ready-made handle. BattlBox provided everybody the ready-made handle, which is its own product itself. So they gave us the axe head, which is a multi-tool itself, per the product packaging, and the handle made of hickory, and let's take a look at those. So the Klecker Klax is our first delay of the year. So again, like I said in the intro, hats off to them for shipping it express to get it to us. It's the only one they did that with for anything that was delayed or whatever. So the Klax itself is just this. It's just the axe head, and it comes with a nylon sheath with a simple belt loop to carry it around. I don't know if there's a sheath or any kind of carrying equipment for the handle. The axe head itself comes with instructions for how to make a handle with this split and everything, but one of the important things that the handle comes with is that little tab, that metal prong that helps seat the axe head right there. And it's shaped very nicely. So, lots of multi-tool action going on here, even though I was not thrilled with the axe head. So let's talk about everything that goes into here, though, first. And the truth is, I might forget a tool or two, so, you know, feel free to correct me in the comments if I forget. Obviously, you have a nice broad axe head. You have a line cord cutter. You have multi-size wrenches there and a 1/4-inch bit holder. Simple blade right there for doing fine cutting. For the life of me, I can't remember if that does anything right there or not. This right here is dual action bottle opener, but it also lets you clip this on, and it's accessible when this is in the sheath. So if you want to clip this on and carry it rather than have this belt loop on, you can carry it around that way. To put this on the handle, what you're going to do is you're going to rotate this thumb wheel till this little bracket comes out, and then you're going to rotate it back. It seems like a lot of work, but you really only got to do it once when you put the thing together. This is spring-loaded. Slide it in, make sure you get that metal prong in there, and then you're going to do the thumb wheel again. Now this is where it gets a little bit of an ass-paying job. Now you've got to go through this process of seating and tightening and seating and tightening. Tighten and tighten, and then you get a screwdriver in there and you tighten it, and then, you know, continuously seating it and tightening it, and then you can even put like a Allen wrench in there and tighten it some more. And look, the truth is, it just seems like an awful lot of work to me to put this together when I can, for, you know, about half the money, get a hatchet. Yes, it won't separate into two halves, but I can get a hatchet together and just carry it. Now, you could, by the way, if you wanted to, once it's together, if you don't want to keep doing that, and you just want the multi-tool versatility of the clacks, there's nothing keeping you from doing this. And then you can put it on the belt loop. You can even still sling it from that little hook right there. So don't think that you have to take it apart every single time. I wasn't thrilled with, you know, as it was used, it got loosened up. Now, some people have said they've done some tricks where they actually Loctited it down and stuff, and it stayed really good for a really long time. Okay, that's cool. You know, if you want to put in the time and effort, and there are some people that swear by their clacks. That's awesome. I found that as I was testing it out, it kept getting loose, and I'd have to stop and retighten it, and that's just kind of a pain in the butt for me. That's my personal opinion. I think it's a nifty idea if there was a way to make it so, like, you know, if you torque wrenched it in the beginning to a certain amount of torque and it didn't get loose, that'd be great. But it started getting loose. I think that using these tools up front, they're awesome, but it gets awkward when the handle's installed. I mean, it gives you great leverage with the handle installed when you want to use the wrench for certain things, but having the handle installed makes it hard to get into certain places to use it. It just, I don't know. They even make this in like a titanium version, which is like wildly expensive, and titanium makes a horrible blade because it's a much softer metal than steel. But I don't know, people seem to like it, but an equal amount of people seem to not like it. I don't know. This is one of those things that's all opinion. I'm just giving you my opinion on it. So I was not thrilled with this as the knife of the month. Innovative, sure. Just looking at specs before we wrap this up. 420 G2 steel. Not great, not terrible. 14.2 ounces for the clacks, for the head itself. 8 ounces for the handle. They give an MSRP of $180 here and $30 here. I didn't even price check the handle because I think, you know, I don't know. But when I originally shot the unboxing video, I was able to find this for $139.99. Now you can find this for $119.91. People have come up with workarounds for the problems I found, but I was not thrilled with the clacks. That's me. April brought us Knife of the Month, shenanigan number 2. So the Knife of the Month that they intended to give us in April, which was the backpacking day hike box, was supposed to be this guy right here, which is the Black Scout Survival Feather Stick. I don't know what the problem was. They couldn't source enough of them out in time, so we got a nice little notice that said, you're supposed to get this, but what you're all getting is the SOG Q3, which was supposed to be the Knife of the Month, which is not a knife, it's a multi-tool, again, but okay, that's not a problem. but this was supposed to come in the May box, which was Repair Anything. Now, obviously, if we're talking about themes, and we're matching up knives to themes, this definitely fits the theme of May, which is Repair Anything. I'm not sure if this really does fit the theme. Well, it definitely doesn't fit Repair Anything, but does it really fit the theme of the day hike? Maybe we can talk about it. But so even though this was intended in April, we got to look at it in May because that's where it actually came to us. We've got to look at this with the theme in April. Now, a good multi-tool can fit almost any theme, right? So let's take a look at the SOG Q3 though, baton multi-tool. We'll look at it not only as a tool, but in the context of the theme of day hike backpacking. So first off, they gave an MSRP of $94. You know, the day of, I was able to find this for $69.95, and today I can find it for $64.49. So right off the bat, you can find it for a lot cheaper. They say it's got 13 total tools. Okay, we'll look at that. It's 5.8 inches closed, which is a really, you know, nice size, compact, especially since it's kind of, we'll say, single stacked instead of double stacked. Only weighs 6 ounces. Very nice. When you open it up, first thing I noticed that the pliers are a little bit small compared to some other multi-tool pliers. They are spring-loaded though, and you can open them pretty wide. So you can get a good grip on a lot of stuff, but the size and the lack of depth kind of restricts you there a little bit, but not bad overall. So, you know, I'm sure they count 1, 2, 3 needle nose pliers, regular pliers, wire cutters as 3 of your tools right there. And you're able to get a pretty decent grip on this too, just by the shape. You can access all of your external tools, whether it's open or closed, which is nice. And you don't have to go digging around deep in there to pull out these tools. They've got a pretty nice little nick right there for you to grab them. Everything locks, which is cool, and very easy to unlock. So starting on the black side, you've got this nice chisel, which can work as a mini pry bar as well. All these tools, by the way, 5 CR15 MOV. Not great steel, but it'll do. So really nice little chisel right there. Got a large Phillips head. Punch/awl, and then a little teeny tiny slot head. On the other side, on the gray side, you've got, anybody keeping track of tools, because I'm not. To start with, you've got this little knife, 1.77 inches. It was pretty sharp coming out of the package during the video. So you're not going to do any big cosmic work, but you know, it's there. Right next to that, file, fine, slightly less fine than fine, and then kind of 2 other good old standard standbys on all multi-tools. You've got a a bottle opener with a larger flathead, and then a can opener with a smaller flathead. And again, I think I mentioned this, all tools lock. Overall, I don't have a whole lot to say about it. I think it's a very convenient multi-tool. It's not my favorite. It doesn't give you a whole lot of options, but again, size, weight, very easy to throw in a bag. You can put it in your pocket with the pocket clip. And just experimentation-wise, a Rick Hinderer deep carry clip, the holes line up perfectly there. So you can throw it on there and have it sit even further deep in your pocket, less obtrusive if you wanted to. So, not a lot to say. Like I said, this could go with any theme. It's just too bad that the next one can't be substituted like that. Now, rolling into May, where we've got Mission 39, we've got the Repair Anything, where we should have had the SOG Q3, but we ended up with the Black Scout Survival Feather Stick. Now, I went out on a limb, and you know I'm always very honest in my reviews, and I said I don't like this knife. I don't think it does I don't think it serves its purposes. I was corrected by many people that said, you don't know what you're talking about, you don't know what this knife is for, it's a skinning knife, and blah, blah, blah. If you read all of the product information about it, it said it is designed, it is well suited for feather sticking and processing tinder. Nowhere does it mention skinning. The truth is, if it was a skinning knife, I've always been upfront with you guys, I'm not a hunter, so I don't know. Is it a skinning knife? Maybe it is a fine skinning knife, but it is advertised anywhere you look for it as for feather sticking and processing tinder. There are elements about this knife that I don't like. that doesn't mean I don't like Black Scout's other products. And the thing is, I had a talk with him, and he's a really cool guy too. And he ended up saying, look, not every product is for everybody. Not everybody gets it. Not everybody's going to agree. Sorry you don't like my thing. And I was like, cool, thanks for just acknowledging. Awesome. I do like a lot of your other stuff. And I said, I like your other products. And he said, thanks for liking my other stuff. So like the actual designer doesn't have an attitude over it. It's just all the other fanboys and stuff that had an attitude over it. So anyway, sorry, I should have saved that for the in-depth look at the knife. But so as a knife in the theme of repair anything, I don't think it really fits. But let's take a closer look at this little guy right here. A lot of people really did like this knife. It's got a nice tech lock on it. It's got the kind of lock that double locks on you, so you know it can't accidentally open up. Widely adjustable. It's lightweight. You can carry it as a neck knife if you want. It's got some pretty good features. I wasn't happy with the size. I wasn't happy with the coating on it. Great G10, by the way, if you can get a good shot. Great G10 work. Very grippy, beautiful colors. This is just not my thing. And as I said in the intro, all the documentation, all the literature on it says it's great for feather sticking and processing tinder. And those are exact words. I'm quoting. I just, again, you know, when I the knife of the month to me, I want a nice, big, bold, striking knife of the month. That's what I want from the knife of the month. And even the designer, even you know, Black Scout Survival. I don't know his name, and I apologize. He had a civil conversation. I think he was a little offended at first, but when I explained, I like your other products, just this one doesn't do it for me, he was able to be a mature adult and say, hey, I like some of your videos. Some of your videos don't do it for me. That's personal preference. Looking at it in two ways, as just a knife in general and as a knife that goes with the theme, I think this had a much better chance of fitting the theme of the hiking, day hike backpacking theme than it did repair anything. Because, well, you know, what are you going to repair with this? The multi-tool fits in great with repair anything. And if you're, you know, day hiking, backpacking, you know, and you're going to maybe stop, make campfire, okay, I could see this going in with it. But I do evaluate the knife of the month in terms of this fits the theme great, or it doesn't. I think that you have to. That's kind of what it does. And so the knife of the month, now that they don't have a theme, how are we going to evaluate that? But whatever. But this was our knife of the month. Intended for April, ended up coming in May. So you've got a 3 1/4 inch blade of D2, which is, in my opinion, great steel. A lot of people are kind of thumbing their nose at D2. It is an incredibly rugged, amazing edge holding steel, and it needs to be coated in order to keep its corrosion resistance up. $129.99 MSRP. I really haven't seen it anywhere besides on BattlBox's website. I've seen one on Amazon, but I've seen them selling on eBay for $90. So just to give you an idea. 6 3/4 inches overall, weighs 2.9 ounces. So if you're into like these small kinds of knives, this might be a good option for you, especially since you have all the options with the sheath, neck knife it, or whatever else. But that is the knife of the month, intended for April, came to us in May. Okay, so June, look, there's Aiden. So June, mission 40, we had the sniper box. And the knife of the month, the knife of the month was by Sniper Blade Works. And admittedly, the only connection to the theme of Sniper Box is that the designer was Sniper Blade Works. But they gave us a really cool special version of one of their very high-end DMFs, which was very unique for BattlBox. Which is, I really like this knife. Not a lot of people did. But this is the Sniper Blade Works DMF in 1095 high carbon steel with the copper PVD coating over stainless steel liners. So we're going to take a really good in-depth look at this, which really you're going to find this in BattlBox. You can find it on Amazon now or on eBay. So June brought us one of my all-time favorites, the Sniper Blade Works DMF in 1095. So if you're into the knife community and you know what Sniper Blade Works can make, you know that one of their standard DMFs is going to run you $600, $700, $800, sometimes upwards of $1,000. This is a tone down in terms of materials and design of their DMF. So we've got stainless steel frame that's PVD coated in copper. 1095 high carbon stainless steel instead of one of those, super steels. And so it ends up with an MSRP of $189.99. Now I've seen it on Amazon today for $149.99, which I still would gladly pay for a Sniper Blade Works knife. I think that this one is gorgeous. It's nice and heavy, 9.2 ounces, 3.5-inch blade, like I said, 1095 carbon steel, which is odd for a folding knife to me. I haven't seen a whole lot of folding knives at 1095, but 1095 makes a great blade steel. It's odd to me that it's just stonewashed and not coated, being 1095. But it's working, because I have not treated this thing special at all, and no corrosion here. 8.5 inches overall. It's just a beautiful knife. It really is. And it goes great with the knife from the DOP bag that they had last year. If you're familiar with it, I can't remember the name of it right now. I'll probably put in text what it is. But this was a great knife. And I would, if it wasn't part of my Knife of the Month collection that I just kind of keep put away as like collection queens, I would carry, sorry for the crappy camera work. I'm looking at the knife and not the camera. I would carry this thing. This is awesome. I really like this one. A lot of people didn't like it for some reason. I really, really like this one. I'm not sure. It's too bad they're unnumbered. Like if they were, exclusive to BattlBox. They are exclusive to BattlBox. They're just not limited edition or numbered or anything like that. But they're really cool. Just nice big chunky hunks of steel.